Let's get into it. Tip number 1. You hate taking orders from others. Listen, in this business of wildland firefighting, not only are you going to have to take orders from others, but you're going to have to take orders from your captain, your chief, and then if a division chief shows up, or if you're on the fire line and you have to go down this trail and your captain's not with you or your engineer's not with you, you're going to have to take orders from somebody else. So there's a whole line of people that you're going to have to take orders from. Sometimes even your partner, if you're a new wildland firefighter and you have a partner that's a seasoned partner and they know what they're doing, but you don't know what you're doing, you're going to have to take orders from them. Listen, it's not an easy thing to do. You can't complain all the time. You can't question it, especially if you're new. Taking orders is just part of the job, and taking orders from other people is just something that you're going to have to do as a new firefighter. It took me a long time to figure that out too, but when I finally figured out that other people know what they're doing and you have to adapt to being able to take orders from, like, say your captain comes and says, I want you to do this, and your engineer comes and tells you, I want to do this. They both end the same, but if there's two different ways to go, you're going to go with what the captain says to do because he's a higher rank than the engineer, and vice versa. If it goes up the chain, if you've got a chief versus the captain, you're going to have to do what the chief says. So, tip number 1, if you don't like taking orders, rethink your position of getting into wildland firefighting because you're going to have to take orders quite often. At the fire station, on the fire line, it doesn't matter where you're at. You're going to have to take orders. That's just the way it is. Tip number 2, do you struggle being part of a team? Firefighting, you cannot do alone. I don't care how manly you think you are. I don't care how much muscle you have. I don't care how much charisma or whatever you think you have. You don't have enough to do it alone. You need help. You need to be part of a team. Listen, handline does not get cut by yourself. When it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you've got your headlight on your hard hat and you're pounding through the brush, you're not out there by yourself with a chainsaw, with a Pulaski, with a McLeod, with a rake, making room, cutting alongside of inmates to make room for the guys behind you to lay hose because there's no bulldozers or it's too steep. You're going to be part of a team. Even when you go grocery shopping, you're going to be part of a team. You're going to go get vegetables. You're going to go get meats. You're going to go get the snicky snacks, whatever you do. Around the fire station, you're going to cut the lawn. You're going to mop the floors. I'm going to teach you how to cook lunch after this because you're new, so I'm going to show you the ways. It's all part of teamwork, working together, being there for each other. And as you grow that team, you grow a second family. You really kind of do. You're going to end up spending a lot more time with those other people than you will your own, especially when it's the height of fire season and they throw in staffing patterns. So teamwork is a must. If you don't have teamwork, if you're not a team builder or a team person, rethink your career. Tip number 3, you need comfort to function. Ain't no comfort at the firehouse. Well, I take that back. There's no comfort on the fire line. Your bed's not going to be there every single night. Your hikes, your runs around the track at the high school, those are gone. The things that you do relaxing to exercise, lifting weights, you still get to lift weights, but let's really just dive right into this. On the fire line, the snacks in your pack are what you're going to get because you're going to be out cutting handline, you're going to be out laying hose, you're going to be out fighting fire, you're going to be doing mop up. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the morning. There's going to be no comfort. You might get to sleep for a couple hours on the fire line, but your fire engine's like down the mountain, like 10,000 feet. You're not going there to sleep. So you're going to find some leaves. You're going to make twig beds. You're going to use your web gear, and hopefully you still got water with you so you can kind of use that as a pillow. No comforts every single night at the fire station. And when you go out to staffing patterns, or even on your days off, if you're sleeping in a hotel room for a quick minute, you're not going to get a good night's sleep. You might be in a bed, but you won't be sleeping good because by the time you get there, it's going to be 8 o'clock at night, and you probably have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to make it the hour drive to get to base camp to have breakfast at 6 to be back out on the line at 8 for another 24 hours. So the bed of the fire engine, Back seat of the fire engine, front seat of the fire engine is even worse to try to sleep in. It's just all like sleeping in the dirt, eating MREs, meals that are ready to eat, making yourself dinner on the fire line, having a snack pack out of your snack pack, hiking with your gear. There's no comfort in all that. There's no comfort. Here's a good one. Tip number 8 is an extra bonus tip. That's going to be the best tip I can give you that will make or break it. When we get there, I'll tell you what it is. Tip number 4, you crack under pressure. You're going to be fighting fire on the fire lines. You're going to have tankers dumping on you. You're going to have helicopters dumping water on you. You're going to have bulldozers around. You're going to have inmates going. The radio on your chest, that's going to be yap, 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 yap. There's going to be so much going on. People are going to be fighting for you. Like, put the hose on the ground, stretch it out, clamp it. You're going to be soaking wet. You're going to be sweaty. You're going to be hot. You're going to be gross. You're going to be in the brush, poison oak, steep terrain, uneven ground. So many things are going to be happening. You're just going to have to adapt. If you cannot work under pressure, it's not even going to matter. Even at the fire station, the captains and engineers are going to give you tests, throw things at you. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. But it's way worse on the fire line. Way worse. Like I said, the noise, the chainsaws, the handline construction, laying hose, mopping up. Like I said, air tankers flying overhead, your captain yelling at you, get this done, get this done. If you're going to crack under all that, if you can't work under pressure, it's not for you. If you've got a temper and you're going to snap, it's just all bad, especially when you're far away from the fire engine or far away from anything and you got a long way to go. You've laid 10,000 feet of hose, you're tired, you got to jam back to the engine, and there's no jamming when you're 10,000 feet into a hose lane. You need 2,000 more feet of hose and everybody's rotating, going back and getting it and going back and getting it. The pressure will get to you, and you just have to learn to, if you want to do this job, to just take it easy, take it slow. You're going to be all right. I promise you that. I promise you. Tip number 5. You cannot have an all about me attitude. The all about me attitude is just all kinds of bad. All kinds of bad with the all about me. You can't. The last thing you're going to think about is yourself. You're going to put your partner first, your captains first, your engineers first, your chief is going to come first. When you make meals, you ask them what they want. And if you're making hamburgers or whatever you're making, do it to what they want. And if you don't like that, make a portion on the side. If you're out on the fire line and you're like, nope, I'm going to take a 10-minute nap because I get to right now, and you sit down and stop and take a nap, but everybody's working, even for 10 minutes, all bad. If you say, oh, I'm the chainsaw guy, so I'm going to run the chainsaw, but you're a brand new guy, and you might be a tree faller, but you're a brand new guy, and the other guy has been there 5-10 years, and he doesn't have the enough experience that you do on a chainsaw, he might just say, I'm the chainsaw guy today, and you're going to be cutting handline today, or you're going to be pulling the brush out from behind me today. So you cannot have an it's just me attitude. It's part of a team, like we talked about earlier. You got to adapt, learn how to do it. What your strong suits, let them find those, let them see those. Your bad suits, let them find those, let them see those, and they can all work themselves out. Be part of a team, drop the attitude of it's just all about me, and just mold into teamwork, part of a crew. And like I said, once you get there, you're gonna have bonding times. The bonding times that you have are gonna be around the dinner table, at night watching TV with your partners, or even when you go upstairs to go to sleep, talking with your partner before you guys go to bed. They're gonna be a lot more than you think they're gonna be. Tip number 6, you avoid hard work. If you don't like to work hard, if you don't like to sweat, if you don't want to get dirty, if you don't want an air tanker to return on you, if you don't want a helicopter to dump water on you, if you can't handle dirt underneath your fingernails, even when you have your pants on and your legs get all wet, if you can't handle all that, done. Go think of another job. That's all I have to say about that. You're going to get dirty. It's going to suck. It's going to be terrible. Just leave it. Just don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Tip number 7. Like I said, tip number 8, it's coming right up. We're getting there. I promise you it's going to be the best one. You have a short fuse. This goes right back to you have an all about me attitude. You have a short fuse. You cannot have a short fuse when all this chaos is happening around you, especially when you first get to a fire and you're one of the first engines there and there's just chaos everywhere and you're trying to get control of this wildfire. There is going to be so much chaos when you jump off that fire engine for the first time and you have to say, oh my gosh, you got to focus. Are you going to use hand line to start cutting hand line to get this in the grass, or are you going straight to a hose lay? There's going to be bulldozers being dropped off of low boys. There's going to be fire crews doing things that they do. There's going to be chiefs yelling and screaming for more resources. Your captain's going to get the pump turned on so you can start laying hose. You're going to have to get the chainsaw out and get that fired up. But right next to you is somebody else doing something else, and your chainsaw's too noisy, but now you can't hear your radio. You just got to get in it, dive in it, and do it. It's just going to be, you cannot have a short fuse in this business. If you just, the stress is going to be there. There'll be time to debrief after everything. You'll be able to take a breath, talk about what happened, realize what happened, and go with the flow. And until then, you have to just work like it all goes back to the teamwork. This all goes back to teamwork. You have to do it. You have to not have a short fuse. Yes, there's times where I've blown up. Yes, there's times where things have happened. I've had to be the one to call out, we're leaving, 60 people, let's go. This is not the spot to be. It's stressful, a lot going on. You have to take authority, you have to take command, and you just have to get them out. So if you have a short fuse, no, you can't have a short fuse. You have to just learn how to do all that. This is one of the most rewarding jobs you will ever do if you decide to become a wildland firefighter. If you can get through all these personality traits and say, I have a few of these, but I can work through them and I can become part of a team. Or I don't have any of these, but this was a good video to not fall into that trap. When I get into these situations, it's gonna happen. This is a rewarding career. If I could still do this career today, I would be chasing wildfire until the day I die. It's in your blood. It's in your veins. Once you've seen that first lick of fire and you're chasing that bad boy and you got air tankers jumping over the top of you and you're making progress and behind you the fire's out, and you know when you call out on the radio that we hooked the head of the fire and it's out, and the chief relays that on to the next person and the command center and they say, oh, the fire's out. This is a more rewarding career than you will ever imagine. The bonus tip number 8. When I started dating my wife, we went on our first date. The very next day, I got called to an overhead assignment 5.5 hours away from where I lived and about 4.5 hours from where she lived. I was gone for 45 days. We had FaceTime dinners. We had dates over the phone. I got 2 days off, she came to visit to say hi for 2 days. She was able to stay at the hotel I was at for 2 days. I'm still paid, so I couldn't leave, but they just give you 2 days of rest and relaxation. If you cannot be away from your family at any given time in the state of California, when you're assigned to a fire, you're going to be gone a minimum of 21 days. And after that 21 days, you're going to get 2 days off, but that doesn't mean you get to go home. If you're still on the fire line, you have to stay there and you have to be able to respond if they still need you, but you get 2 days off so your family can come up. If you can't do that, a regular shift is 3 days on, 4 days off. I believe that's still what it is. 3 days on work, 4 days off of work. So if you work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you show up Monday morning at 8 o'clock, you're off Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. So then you have the 4 days off, you come back. It's the same all the way through, no matter what days you work. But if you go to a fire, all bets are off. If they throw on staffing patterns, you're done. So if you cannot be away from your family, you cannot sleep in the dirt, you have a bad attitude, you're not self-motivated. That's what I didn't really talk about, being self-motivated to go be able to start projects around the station or do things that you find necessary. If you have any of these traits that we've gone through, then either rethink your career or be like, I have that, but I don't know how to fix that. If you want ideas or anything like that, leave it in the comments on what you want help with, and I'll help you. I'm here to help you. I'm going to talk about all these good things. I'm here to help you. I want to see you succeed if you decide to do this as a career. I want to see you pass this. I want to make it right. I want to make sure that you guys are doing the right thing and you become a great wildland firefighter. Again, leave it in the comments what you think you need help with, anything like that. If this video helped you, I can make another one. I'm here for you, and I freaking love you. Have a blessed afternoon.